Okay? Alright, chat. Let me tell y'all how I got hoe ass niggas that live with me. I asked my brothers, can we watch The Incredibles? It's a great movie. For adults and chilling. I'm very much entertained every single time I watch it. I think we should do it. Let's do it together. And you know what they said? No, nigga, fuck you. Fuck that movie. Alright, they ain't even say all that. But these niggas didn't want to watch the movie. I was a little hurt. I ain't gonna lie. I was hurt. I was like, we always trying to... And I be feeling like everybody always want to watch nigga... Alright, we just let this nigga choose. Or this nigga choose. But it's never what Chris wants. What do I want to watch? You feel me? And tonight, I'm gonna watch The Incredibles by myself. Because that's what I guess I gotta do. This is one of the best movies I've watched in my lifetime. And that's why I love to talk about it. But let's figure out what the fuck happened to Gazerbeam. And let's get into it. Come on.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Since the leaking of the NSA file...
Did I just get on my own ass? Like, what the fuck was that?
The world of The Incredibles has never been the same. Growing up, you were always so curious about the stories of the supers that were killed off by Syndrome in testing out his Omnidroids. But since the files were leaked, we've come to find out the horrid reality of these supers. The most famous ones being Gamma Jack and Psychwave.
Now, women who need to be rescued immediately, and then I sort of start from there and work my way down the list. You know, if you've got Tubby Joe Schmo over there with a laser pointed at his head, and he might have to wait in line a little while.
I had a crush on the quarterback of the football team who was also my best friend's boyfriend. I Psychwaved him
love the music.
into asking me to the homecoming dance and breaking up with Shelly. And the more I practiced it, the shorter amount of time it took. You know, I could just sort of look at someone or look at a picture or see them passing by and think this thought or this action or whatever and
She's crazy! She's crazy! That is not a superhero. That is a villain. You don't trust somebody like that. These two niggas need help. Okay? And the other nigga that got drunk too, I fuck with him, but he was getting fucked up too. You feel me? The strong nigga, Universe Man or something, he was cool as fuck though. Cause like maybe if I was drunk all the time and I was getting angry, I'd think like him.
Two of the most disturbing cases of supers gaining a near god complex when it came to comparing supers and normal people. With these two and another handful...
Wait, she can control niggas from pictures, bro? From pictures? Bro, that's OP as fuck. Nigga, you realize all they had to do was take a picture of a nigga and she could get in their body? Are you serious? Nigga, that might be like... That's some Ouija board shit, I ain't gonna lie. She got demonic powers. They had to kill her. Syndrome, I ain't even mad at what you did no more. Oh, this is just too good.
Of supers, we believe that these were the main culprits of tipping the scales in passing the bill that made supers illegal. But once it was
in her audio, nigga. I wasn't paying attention then. I'm a bitch ass nigga.
passed, one man was fighting for supers to become legal again. And no, it's not Saul Goodman from the second movie. Instead, this man was actually a man of the law by day, and one of the greatest supers in the incredible universe.
Show some, put your hands on your forehead for Gazerbeam. Put him up. He might have been a dickhead, but he was straightforward and a lawyer by day. And by night, that nigga was gazing through your bitches.
By night. Simon Michael Palladino, Gazerbeam. Gazerbeam has been a fan favorite since his corpse was seen in the first movie, and more of him was seen in the second movie. Not a lot was known of him then, but now we can finally find out who Gazerbeam really is, what his story was, and find out how our boy with a look that could cut through steel went down swinging for supers' rights. In today's cult meeting, we are going to be exploring who Gazerbeam is, what his story was, and finally answer the age-old question: How could he have found out the password to Syndrome's computer? Simon J. Palladino was a lawyer for a good chunk of his life, defending the innocent way before he was a super. But that was the problem. He was. Well, let me explain. With bright blue eyes, Simon had a gift that a lot of people were already accustomed to by now. Superpowered individuals were the norm, and it wasn't surprising that you had superpowers at that time. Simon had a gift that a lot of people were already accustomed to. But he wasn't. He wasn't sure how to go about it. He had the power to shoot lasers from his eyes so intensely that it could cut through solid steel. Hiding his powers and continuing to be a lawyer, it got harder for him to keep his eyes on one thing. Because if he focused hard enough on something, it would burst into flames or it would get cut in half. He said it himself in the NSA files.
I think the thing I get asked about the most, of course, is my laser vision. People tend to think it's a real picnic to have eyes that shoot lasers, but believe it or not, it's had its disadvantages. If I look at anything too intently, it tends to burst into flames, which can be a real pickle in a relationship scenario. When you're conversing with somebody, a normal person would be able to look them square in the eye. I avert my gaze, which is often interpreted as disinterest, or rather...
That nigga be going through it, bro. He be going through it, bro. Just because he want to be a regular nigga, but also a superhero.
Daft or stupid, which couldn't be farther from the truth. I'm a man of culture, a man of passion, and I would say a man of humor, which is not widely known. On the outside, I appear calm and cool, perhaps even collected, but on the inside, I'm guffawing away on the steamship of hilarity. I'm not sure if that made very much sense.
In the files, we find out how Gazerbeam struggled controlling his powers before he became a super, especially when it came to being intimate with another person. Most people thought of him as daft or simply uninterested, which in his words could not be farther from the truth. He struggled with his gift for so long, up until he met Mr. Incredible, Frozone, and ew, is that Gamma Jack? Back when he was still handsome? Man, sometimes I forget that all these supers are all friends, and they know each other basically under the mask, and they actually hang out, but Gamma Jack? Really? Anyways, Mr.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Bob, bro, what was you doing with my nigga Gamma Jack? Like, not even my nigga. What was you doing with Gamma Jack, bro? This ain't your boy, bro. You a happily married man, you feel me? You got Alaska girl. You feel me? She the thickest shit in the land. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be around this nigga. And you got my boy Frozone. Frozone from the Dome. You know what I'm saying? That nigga really handle shit too. Like, come on, bro. You good.
Incredible and the gang were the ones who convinced Simon to use his powers for good. He prides himself with coming up with the iconic name we all know and love, Gazerbeam. Because apparently Simon really liked the name Viewpoint, which, honestly, is a really cool name, but I'm with Bob on this one. Gazerbeam is way more iconic. During his time as a super, he ran with the best, starting out with Mr. Incredible's team with Frozone and the sexual offender. After learning the ropes and excelling at it with the gang, he goes off on his own. Well, that's up until he gets recruited by the Phantasmics. This group is led by the germaphobe of a super, Everseer, another telepath in the verse. Alongside the team was Macro Burst, Plasma Bolt, and the serial homewrecker Psychwave. Gazer left the group because apparently he and Everseer never saw eye to eye. I mean, how can you when your powers are hindering you from looking at people too intensely? Jokes aside, this tells me that there were methods that this group used to disposing of taking care of villains in a way that Gazerbeam did not approve of, leading him to leave the group and be a part of what I believe is the most iconic group that he was a part of, the Thrilling Three. He led the group of Apogee and the Flange in what he believed was regular saves the proper way, but with Apogee's file we hear what they really felt about Gazer and his way of leading.
Do we have to talk about the Thrilling Three? Yes, I was part of that group, and it was well-intentioned. a bit misguided. Let's face it, it wasn't really the thrilling 3. It was really the thrilling 1 plus 2 in Gazerbeam's mind. It was less than thrilling. Less than thrilling, that's good.
I believe he tried to
Shut the fuck up. I'm not hearing that shit.
lead the group in a way he thought was the best and efficient way to deal with crime and saving lives at the same time. As the group disbanded, Gazer went on his way to again fly solo. And I gotta say, he was so good at his job that he had a personal landline in the House of the Devers in the second movie. After supers were made illegal, Simon turned to his secret identity to fight for the rights of supers and why they should be legal again. For the better part of a decade and a half, he fought for the rights of supers, using his powers as a lawyer to combat the system in a legal way. During his fight for super...
Bro, this nigga is literally like the... Oh my god, this nigga is like, he's Malcolm X. He's Martin Luther King. He's all of them in one. He fought for their rights. He fought for their rights. Not a lot of niggas is handling that type of that's a large responsibility. Chat, give me a second. I'm finna use the restroom. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be back in like 3 minutes. I'm not gonna try to be too long, but I will use the restroom. I'll be back. I'm back. Let's get through this. Let's record. Come on. Chat.
rights, this made it easy for Mirage to find out who he really was, making it easy for him to be recruited into Syndrome's plan. After appealing to his heroic side, I believe Simon would have turned the offer down at first, being awfully suspicious of Mirage. Think about it, a hot silver-haired woman contacting you via tablet that self-destructs right after the message plays. According to his file, he is quite the smart guy, so I believe he would be very hesitant at first. But after digging a little deeper into it and finding absolutely nothing about the organization that Mirage represents, I think Simon would take some time before he makes a decision. After considering the offer, he'd eventually take it. And I think when he gets to the island, Mirage would play into his sentiments, promising Simon that this would help them to get closer to their cause. I believe she would appeal to Simon's thirst for being a hero, but being more skeptical than anything, he puts those thoughts in the back burner, takes care of the first androids he comes across, and gets invited to dinner. Visor's still on, of course. After a few months of this gig, he starts to get more and more suspicious. A supers gig that pays well when you destroy a specific prototype doesn't exactly make a lot of sense. So, Gazerbeam does what he does best. He does a little detective work. On the island, he sneaks back into the old dining area that he and Mirage were dining in. And I believe it would go down similarly to how Mr. Incredible got in. Only this time, he gets there faster because, let's be real, this dude would have still been in great shape by the time he was recruited. But hold on, let's slow it down just a little bit. How did he find out what password was used for this computer? How the hell could this man possibly figure out what it was?
Because it's fucking Gazerbeam.
In the time he was there. Now, I won't sit here saying he dug through files that were most likely classified and he got access by hacking into the system before he could ever get to Syndrome's main computer, because I think that's a little bit too cliche. Now, I believe enough time would have passed to where Simon would have been a regular on the island, to the point where he gets invited to another dinner date with Mirage. Only this time, they talk more about how she believes that with time, supers would eventually be legal again, much sooner than you think. And after Simon asks if they'll ever get to meet the boss, Mirage pulls these kinds of monologues out of her ass to try to pull our goat in.
Do you indulge in mythology, Mr. Palladino?
From time to time, yes. The stories have me thinking that these powers were actually a gift from these gods. I believe these gifts are to be used responsibly because these abilities in the wrong hands could cause more harm than good.
Interesting. This coming from a man who has been cutting through our prototypes just by looking at them for the better part of 2 months.
To be fair, I've simply been doing this because of the promise that you and our supposed boss made with my firm.
Of course, Mr. Palladino. In time, supers will indeed be illegal as they were. And with your help, I believe we're getting closer to this shared goal we have.
What does this conversation have to do with anything in mythology?
Have you heard the story of the titan that birthed gods? After being exiled by his own son, he stayed upon Tartarus, where he believed he would spend the rest of his days in.
So, if y'all don't understand that, I forgot what the Titan's name was, but if you ever read Percy Jackson, he ate his kids and shit. Something like that.
I'm familiar with the story, yes.
Well, there was another part of that story that isn't told well enough. He reconciles with his son in the end, and he returns to rule the Isle of the Blessed. Poetic, isn't it? Being exiled by the people you swore to protect.
That's an interesting parallel. Could you remind me who this is for clarity?
It's quite obvious who it is, Mr. Palladino. The father of Zeus himself.
Kronos. That's his name. That's the nigga name. Kronos. Y'all read y'all Greek mythology, y'all gonna learn some shit. Read some Percy Jackson, you might learn the same shit that you read in a regular goddamn book. Do your readings.
Kronos is the god who ate his own children because he was paranoid that one of them would eventually kill him, as he did with his own father. This is mirrored by Syndrome and his Omnidroids. Being a super fan of Mr. Incredible tore him apart. I'd say Syndrome most likely looked up to Mr. Incredible as a father figure, to the point where when he got rejected, he swore to destroy his hero by any means necessary, even if it means killing every single super to perfect his Omnidroid to kill his then idol. When that fails, he goes to the Parr household, attempting to kidnap Jack and raise him as his own. To literally quote Syndrome himself.
Oh, don't worry, I'll be a good mentor, supportive, encouraging, everything you weren't. And in time, who knows, you might make a good sidekick.
He was going to raise Jack to be his sidekick, and most likely raise him to kill Mr. Incredible himself. But the whole Kronos thing is an entire video for another time. Once Gazer found out what happened to the supers, he did not hesitate to get out of there as fast as he could. Only this time, he was stopped by the latest Omnidroid. Thinking this would be another walk in the park, this one had reflective material built into its hands, which it was used to reflect Gazerbeam's laser, thus injuring him in the process. As this fight went on, Gazer starts to get tired, to the point where he gets pushed to the edge of a cliff where we believe Mr. Incredible was led to in the first movie. This time, the Omnidroid fires a blast at Gazer as he jumps down into the water. He emerges in the same cave we found him in, bleeding out. With his last breath, he uses his powers one last time to inscribe the password to Syndrome's computer.
Oh my god, I forgot this happened, bro. Y'all niggas don't even understand. This is really the best movie I ever watched.
That's Gravy the Bastard?
No. It might have been, though.
I'm sure, man.
Nigga, do you realize what they just told us, bro? You remember in The Incredible? Do you watch The Incredibles, bro?
Yeah, I saw The Incredibles.
You remember when Mr. Incredible was underwater and he went like this and like did this? Look, this scene specifically.
One last time.
Just listen to what they say right
water. He emerges in the same cave we found him in, bleeding out.
Is this the movie?
With his last breath, he uses his powers one last time to inscribe the password to Syndrome's computer.
I don't remember that.
Bro, do you remember how like when Mr. Incredible fell underwater because he was fighting the big robot and then it sent that little beep 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 beep? Syndrome sent that little thing and it was looking for him in the water.
I think so.
And then he went and found this nigga and he did this.
Shit?
Yeah. He found this nigga and he did this on his thing and then he looked at what this nigga was looking at and then it was like something. It was the password to Syndrome's computer because this nigga found out. But it's because this nigga was a lawyer whole time while he was like I don't know.
Gazerbeam?
Yeah, Gazerbeam. You know about Gazerbeam?
Mm-mm.
How you know? Oh, you read that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like this nigga, this nigga hard, bro. Like this shit be crazy, bro.
And prayed that the next super who found his body would figure out what was going on.
And like this nigga, Mr. Incredible put him on his first team, like with Frozone and another bitch.
Iron
You know what I mean? So it's like
And the
all
rest,
together and shit.
well, the rest was history. Gazerbeam went down fighting. Not just for the sake of the glory days, not just because he missed being a superhero, no. He died on the island fighting for the rights of his friends, for all of supers. He died in that cave thinking that the next super would be unfortunate enough to wind up in his place. And all he ever wanted was to feel useful. He wanted to use his gifts, not just as a lawyer, but as Gazerbeam, to help the people around him. And he believes that all of the supers want the exact same thing. Nothing but to help people. And he was fighting for that cause. A memorial was held for all the supers, but Gazerbeam was the main focus of the entire thing. Being one of the truest heroes of the Golden Age, he was solidified as one of the definitive superheroes in the Incredibles universe. With this story coming to life more and more, the fans have started to call for a prequel series about the glory days, and I believe...
Alright, shout out Gazerbeam, you feel me? Gazer. It was a good video. I'm really just, I always love to learn some new shit about the Incredibles, so I never fight back and shit.
Love hard and make bad decisions. It's first Sunday, I'm still begging for Jesus. Can he save me from the fire and the Jezebel spirits? Got bad bitches walking through my thoughts like a demon. Will she take my semen, bear my seed? Can she